Hello all, and I'm here, kind of. The voice really isn't back. For those of you not aware of where I've been and what's been going on, I got like a serious, bad sinus infection. And I lost my voice. Like, totally lost my voice. And as you can tell, it's not completely back, but I didn't want to get too far behind, so I thought I'd just kind of grunt this through and try to get caught up on a few things. I'll probably cough a lot during this, just to warn you guys, as my throat is still pretty tore up. But anyways, let's get started with everything I want to talk about, because there's a lot of stuff. There's some WWE stuff, there is some TNA stuff, kind of, I want to talk about. And, of course, the WWE stuff I missed, some Ring of Honor stuff, and some other stuff, too. So, let's get started. But we're going to start with, because I know a lot of people are going to watch this, and we're going to start with this at the start, which is, CHIKARA, which is not a promotion I talk a lot about. That's usually Big Rat, and Sanders Robin, and a few other guys, trademark. I talk a lot, not Nerdball, talk a lot about CHIKARA, not really me. Even though, you know, when King of Trios comes around, I do talk about it a lot, because that's one of my favorite shows every year. And I just don't usually have the time to keep up with with CHIKARA the way I would like to. So, I usually just don't talk about it a lot. But, for those of you not aware, and probably most of you are not, that's why I'm talking about it, they are doing their first iPPV on Go Fight Live. Same place Ring of Honor does theirs. Kind of surprising. I thought they would do them somewhere else, but apparently that's not the case. But they're going to do it on Go Fight Live. It's going to be November 13th, and a somewhat weird start time of 4 o'clock Eastern. So, keep that in mind. But, yeah, if you've never seen CHIKARA, a lot of fun, for all of you that, you know, usually get turned off by Ring of Honor because you will need storylines, you know, to have storylines, or more gimmicky stuff. CHIKARA has that in loads. I've often said, I've said it on here, that out of every promotion that was not on television, that I think CHIKARA had the best opportunity of being a huge success. I think they have the biggest upside. I also think they can fail really easy, but I also think that if they caught on, they would have the biggest upside if they were on the right channel, on the right time, with the right channel behind them. I really do think they could be a really big deal. It is very family friendly. It's PG the way PG should be. Probably even more PG than WWE in some regards. But really good stuff. I got the information in the information, so you can check all that out and all of that good stuff. But definitely check it out. Definitely recommend checking out. I think everyone probably should at least see if you like it. No harm doing it. $15. Probably will be, I would imagine, pretty good quality. I don't know if Smart Mark is doing the iPay-per-view stuff. That's usually who CHIKARA teams up with. So, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I'm looking forward to it. They're gonna debut their first, or they're gonna crown their first singles champion. Well, I guess not their first singles champion, but their first world champion, I guess. Young Lions Cup, I guess, is the title, I guess. But anyways, there we go with that. So what? And that's all I have to really think about that. So there we go. You know, Big Rat and the rest of the guys will probably have a lot more to say about it who really follow it. But there's some links in there. There's some links with Mike Quackenbush and some other stuff that you can check out and see what you think. Okay, so let's talk a little about WWE, because I didn't make a Hell in a Cell review. Didn't make a Vengeance review. So let's talk about both of these pay-per-views to a degree. I didn't think either pay-per-view was necessarily great. I thought they were okay. Pretty much pay-per-views that you kind of forget about the definition of a P-show. You know, it's both shows are very forgettable shows, I think, with the exception of the Mark Henry stuff. I think WWE really, if I were to look at one thing, I think WWE is doing right. The Mark Henry stuff is it. It's kind of funny because I've always thought, maybe I've said it on here before, I don't know if I have, so If I haven't, people will be like, he's just saying that now. But I've always thought that, the thing with Mark Henry is when they let Mark Henry do, like, stuff you would expect the world's strongest man to do, when they'd let him do, like, power moves, feats of strength, and especially stuff in the ring like that, he got over. He got over in the past doing that. And then they would turn him into, wacky, Mark Henry or whatever, and he'd stop getting over and be boring. Yet when he does a lot of the stuff that they're doing now, where he does, one big feat of strength, the ring collapsing and being able to survive it, putting guys through tables, just all sorts of stuff like that. I think it helps his character. I think that's the one thing that I always thought he was missing. I never understood. I just didn't have him do that, particularly since I'm a big guy. And he's pretty good on the mic. And to me, it always got him over, and magically he's now over. And magically, for whatever reason, SmackDown's ratings have gone up too. I don't know if that says doing or not, but anyways, everything else is pretty, in my opinion, blah. The CM Punk Triple H stuff has pretty much gone nowhere. I guess we're now going to get Cena and The Rock versus Miz and Truth at Survivor Series, and CM Punk versus Alberto Del Rio at Survivor Series. I guess that is what it is. There's just, you watch WWE and you notice there's like no long-term booking whatsoever, and it's really kind of sad because that's really the only thing they're missing, I think, is long-term booking that makes sense. And, you watch, I've been watching Ring of Honor, of course, and, there's long-term booking. Everything makes sense. Everything on every TV show makes sense. Everything leads to something else. Everything, is being geared to go to Final Battle. So, all of that's good. All of that's wonderful. I'm glad to see that. I like it now with WWE, and I've stopped watching TNA, though, the night of Bound for Glory, I did get invited to a friend's house here where I live now, and unbeknownst to me, I was going to have a surprise, and the surprise was that I got over there, and the girl's house we went to, her boyfriend, the whole reason why I was invited over was because they knew I was a big wrestling fan. He ordered Bound for Glory. So, I was nice. They invited me over. I watched it. Had no idea what was going on because I haven't watched TNA in well over a year. So, it was like, what's going on here? Or, well, that's not really true. I watched Destination X, but, of course, I had no idea what was going on in Destination X. Other than what I, hear when people podcast and that sort of thing, when people talk about TNA. Really didn't have much of a clue what was going on. And I'll say this, I thought the show was fairly good for the first part. And then they just fell off a cliff after, I guess, the Knockouts match. And, Daniels and AJ was not as good as you would expect. And everybody's pretty much talked about the fact that the stipulation of the match pretty much killed it. Hogan and Sting was probably the best that they could do. It did kind of irk me that Hogan had to turn, that the fans bought into it, the few fans that were there, and so there was that. Of course, the big thing was that Robert Roode, after they had built him up, did not win the title at the pay-per-view. Now, rumor has it that the pay-per-view did about 25 to 30,000 buys, which would have been, I believe that's the lowest that Bound for Glory has ever done, and that Hogan, at the last second, said, Roode's not ready. Well, then all hell broke loose on the internet. And really what I want to talk about really is more of Hogan. Because my question is this, and I would love for somebody down there to, below me, please answer this question. Why would you listen to Hogan on anything when it comes to talent? Because has he ever been right on anybody, really, as far as being a star or not being a star? I would love to know, because I don't know. But I would find it interesting just to figure out, because I can't think of anybody. So I don't know why TNA, why Dixie Carter, the other people that actually run TNA, listen to him. Of course, he did a tweet saying, oh, you know, the marks just don't understand. Think long term. That was his long term booking. That's what he said. Long term booking. Excuse me if I think long term booking is, you know, booking more than a month, but that's just me. But of course, then James Storm won the title, and then let's see, this past week, I guess, is when they did the number one contendership, so that Rhodes now going to take on Storm next week. And spoiler alert, Storm, does he win? Yeah. And Storm cheats and wins, and then turns heel after they built him up. And then this is on Impact that they did this. Then they do a rematch the next week, which really doesn't turn out to be a rematch, just them getting rid of Storm for a while. And so the pay-per-view match will have nothing to do with James Storm and Robert Roode. It's going to have to do with Robert Roode and AJ Styles, which I guess doesn't really even get announced till Impact, till the last Impact before the next pay-per-view. Okay, here's my thing. You built up Robert Roode. You end up giving him the title anyways. You knew Kurt Angle was hurt going into the pay-per-view. So please don't feed me this bullshit about long-term booking, when really what it looked like was, well, Robert Roode's not the guy. Oh shit, everyone's freaking out. Everyone's saying I'm an idiot for saying that Roode wasn't ready. So now I have to cover my ass, because to me that's what it looks like. Now we're going to run through a program that should have taken 6 months, and we're going to shove it down everybody's throat in the matter of 4 weeks. Brilliant. Way to kill your pay-per-views that no one ever watches anyways, and maybe that's why. But even if no one's watching your pay-per-views, at least plan it out for 6 months so that you can at least build your TV or something. I don't know. But, you know, don't come on the internet and call people a bunch of marks for getting upset and then do nothing but cover your ass. And, because that's my opinion, what Hulk Hogan did. But that's all I want to talk about with that. But, I guess I've talked about everything I want to talk about. Talked a little bit about Ring of Honor's TV show. If you're not watching Ring of Honor's TV show, definitely watch it. It's really good. It's only 1 hour. Easy 1 hour to watch. The production is but everything else with the show is really good. Kevin Kelly's really good. Nigel McGuinness is really good. To quote Spoonie, who I've never quoted on here, but I do follow him on Twitter. So, as he said, at least Ring of Honor doesn't have announcers that make me want to hate myself for being a pro wrestling fan. I'm all about that. I'm all for that. And I agree. The announcers are really good. So, the wrestling is really good. Usually we get 2 matches, only 2 matches, and then some promos and some other stuff. And the Briscoes have been pretty much on fire since the start of the show, which, if you kind of followed Ring of Honor up to that point, I think it was pretty evident that those were going to be the guys that they were kind of going to give the torch to and kind of let them go on their way and see what they could do with it. So, yeah. So, there we go. So, with that, me and my crappy voice that I hope you guys can hear, we'll find out after I turn this off and actually try to listen to it. We'll see you later, hopefully. And with that, I'm out. Later.